Okay, y'all. So, uh, leave it to the Southern boy to have to straighten y'all out. Now, I knew politicians were stupid, but I didn't think they were downright fucking retarded. You know why politicians are stupid? Y'all want me to tell you? Politicians are stupid because they can't figure out what common sense is. There is, used to be a saying that common sense isn't uncommon, but damn, I didn't realize it was extinct. I'm talking about the trucking industry. This is Anthony Allen, owner of Old Schooner Transport. And I want to say first and foremost, I stand with my brothers out in California. Y'all want to shut down the port at Oakland? Good. While you're at it, Long Beach needs to get shut down. Shut them all down. Port of entry at San Diego needs to be shut down too. Sorry if y'all hear my annoying Samsung dryer playing a tune in the background. Doing a little laundry this morning. I've given strict orders for my truck not to go to California. And my truck won't. Now, I don't own a full-on semi. I own a hot shot. The Old Schooner Transport's a hot shot company for now. I'll get some Class 8s eventually. But for right now, it's just a hot shot company. Even when I get Class 8s, they ain't going to California. I don't give a damn what the law is. Number one, 55 mile an hour speed limit. Let's get down to basics on how California is fucking up. And this is from a driver who owns a company. Yeah, again, I know Old Schooner is a hotshot company. But let me tell y'all something. I've been out here on this road since off and on since I was 21 years old. I'm fixing to be 38. And I'm telling you right now, I've been all over California in a truck at 55 miles an hour. You talk about driver fatigue? Think that's safe? Four-wheelers whizzing by you. 55. Don't you dare do 56 in California in a semi. Don't you dare. Them bastards are worse than Ohio and Florida ever thought about being. 55 miles an hour. They're not the only state that's 55. Well, actually, I think they are now. I think Oregon actually is now up to about 65. Washington's still at 60, though. But 55. There was a time in this country where there was a national speed limit for everything. They say Mississippi, where I live, is living in the past. 1987, that was changed. 1995, it was left up to the states. Guess I got all kind of noisemakers going off in the background. But anyway. It was left up to the states in 95. But yet, California, for safety, wants 55 miles an hour. Okay. California's a big ass state. Doesn't matter if you're driving across 10, driving across I-8, and 10 and 8 is boring until you get to LA. Then you just hit traffic. Well, 8 doesn't go to LA, 8 goes to San Diego, but same difference. It's boring until you hit San Diego. I-5, man. Yeah, okay, there's some places on I-5 that need a reduced speed limit. The Grapevine, I'll give you that. I mean, obviously the Grapevine. 99, man, people whiz by you in four-wheelers at 80, 90 miles an hour on 99. (101) same thing. 80, you through Donners, I mean, why? It's simple. They don't care. Now we have this to where independent contractors can't operate in California. I'm an independent. I'm not a major company. I'm on one truck show right now. Now, let's take this further. Anybody tried to find employees? Any business owners tried to find employees lately? Kind of hard, ain't it? We have a supply chain shortage in this country. We have a truck driver shortage in this country. And I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't work my ass off to build this company and have the partners that I have in this company helping me build this company. So I can sell my truck, fire my driver, and send them to go work for Swift or Knight or Warner or Schneider, where they can get screwed. Here's the other big thing. Big trucking companies don't give a shit about the driver. I don't care if somebody's got 20 years with the same mega fleet. Their replacement's going through orientation right now if they want to give that truck up. And it don't hurt them a bit. They don't care. All that means is they get somebody to do the same job for less money. Because some of them who have seniority pay, they can get it done cheaper. Mega fleets don't give a damn about you. They don't care. They do not care. You get paid by the mile. I don't pay my drivers by the mile. The company dispatching me gets a commission. The company dispatching me gets 15%. The company I'm leased on to under their authority, because I don't have my own at the moment, gets 15%. My driver gets 30%. I get what's left. And out of what I get, I got to cover fuel. I got to cover fuel tax. I got to cover maintenance on the vehicle. I got to make the truck payment. I don't make a whole lot. But I don't mind. The reason I'm going to pay my driver percentage, and I don't care if I build this company up to where I'm running 20,000 trucks. The reason I will always pay my drivers commission is because I think it's the right thing to do. Yes, that means that they won't get paid deadhead miles. But if my dispatcher is making a commission too, Well, then they know that they're not going to get paid for the however many miles it takes to get my driver to the next load. I'm already taking a loss on it on fuel. But they know that my driver ain't getting paid. They know they ain't getting paid for those miles. So they're going to try to find the closest decent paying load they can to where my driver just unloaded. It makes sense. Makes perfect sense. And then my driver gets 30% of that. Everybody has skin in the game. I've got it. Dispatchers got it. Drivers got it. It's shared. These big companies, they may run, if they got a $5 a mile run, they're still going to pay their driver. I don't even know what they're paying drivers now. Starting out, maybe 50 cents a mile, some of them? You want to get paid 50 cents a mile on a $5 a mile run? Or do you want to get 30% of it? First of all, I take the 30% all day. And I'm 100% above board with my drivers on what they see the rate cons. They have to turn in the rate cons. If they don't turn in the rate cons, none of us get paid. They turn in the rate con with their bills. Everything itemized. So, the other part of this is, as a small company, again, I know I just have one truck. People are going to go, oh, well, you just a one truck fuck you, okay? First off, we all start somewhere. Every damn one of us out there. If I wouldn't have had so many issues with my truck, right now I probably would have about 4 trucks running. And be glad to do it. But shit happens. It's fucking trucking. I care about my drivers. I'll go to bat for my drivers unless they just screw up to the point to where nobody can save them. If my driver tells me, hey man, look, my mom's not feeling well. I really need to get home. Or, my kids got graduation. Or, man, look, it's my son's first game. He's starting to play football for junior high, man. Or I really want to go see his first game. The driver don't have to go through 50 different dispatchers and fleet managers and driver managers and all that bullshit. No, they can come to me. Pick up the damn phone. I'll answer it. Yeah, Bob, what's going on, brother? You good? Hey, man, can I get home for my son's grad? Yeah, hang on. I'm going to call you dispatcher. I'm going to tell them to go ahead and find you a load home. When do you need to be there? Oh, you need to be there next Friday? Okay, bet. Got you. Do that with a mega fleet. I dare you. I want to see it. Please accept that challenge. I want to see this. I want to see you as a mega fleet driver. Call them up and tell them that you got to be somewhere. I drove for mega fleets. I'll tell you who all I drove for. Covenant, which actually, you know what? Covenant wasn't that bad. I'm going to give Covenant all the credit in the world and all the respect in the world. Covenant was a good company to drive for. I don't know about now, But I know we're going back to 2006. They were a good company to drive for. I can't speak for now because I don't drive for them right now. Werner. Yeah. Oh, I drove for we employed retards, no experience required. Oh yeah. Hard pass. Then I got out of over the road and I went local for a little bit. For a while. Doing my own thing, independent. Went back over the road years later. And briefly drove for Stevie Wonder's Institute for Trucking. And got the fuck out of there while the getting was good. Especially when I made $500 to drive from Seattle to Nashville. After that run, I came back down here to South Mississippi, parked my truck. Pissed. I had some personal shit to take care of down here. And then finally, I had all I could stand when that paycheck hit. And I turned around and I took their truck right over to Robert, Louisiana, to their yard and said, here's the fucking keys. Then I drove for Celadon. They're not even in business anymore. Wonder why. Oh, they were fucking drivers. They went tits up. I was a lease operator for them. Don't ever do a lease operator if you're going to drive for a mega fleet. That's a license to starve. After not generating a paycheck, I went and drove for Trans Am. Again, as a lease operator, figured that's Celadon, I'll go drive for Trans Am here. Boy, that was a mistake too. It was going good when I had my first dispatcher with them. I was actually making money. I was actually doing very well. Then I think that dispatcher, who by the way was also a driver at one point, which is rare. You find a good dispatcher, chances are better than not. At some point in their life, they were a driver, so they know how it is on the road. Now, I'm a lease operator at this point. Y'all figure this out. At this point, I'm a lease operator. As soon as my off-duty, my 10-hour break hit 10 hours and 1 minute, my phone was ringing. Why aren't you rolling? Can I do a pre-trip first? DOT requires me to do a pre-trip. I'm going to show a 15-minute pre-trip on my logbook before I move. Sorry, that's old habits from paper log days, y'all. I'm going to show a 15-minute pre-trip. I'm going to show a 7.5-minute post-trip. And not only am I going to show it on my logbook, I'm actually going to do it. I believe in that. I'm not just going to go turn the E-log on, piss on the tires, and go in the truck stop and fix me a drink. Sit there and scratch my balls waiting on the clock to run. No, I'm actually going to check some shit. Because I need to know if there's any problems. Because DOT, you think they won't? You got another thing coming. Now, Why would anybody who owns their own truck, wants the freedom of their own business, want to deal with that? California says it's because of workers' rights. Do workers not have the right to work for themselves? Is that not the American dream, to be a business owner? I always thought the American dream was a nice house, wife, kids, white picket fence, you know, barbecue on your off days, successful business owner. That's the American dream, and I don't think it's dead yet. They trying to kill it. Trucking gives people that choice. You go out here, you drive for a shitty mega fleet for a couple of years, and then scrounge and, you know, build your credit up and go get your own truck, get your own authority, which I'm working on. Get your own whatever you need. You don't have to sit there and beg nobody for nothing. You do your own shit. You build your customer base. You build your relationships with your brokers. California's trying to take that dream from everybody. So, my brothers and sisters out there on the road, I say we all refuse to go to California. And Connecticut, y'all can kiss my ass too. Y'all want to know how it is? This is how it is. We are America's backbone, us in the transportation industry. I don't give a shit if you drive, I don't care if you drive a postal truck, a dump truck, a concrete truck, a Greyhound bus, a city bus, a taxi cab, Uber, Lyft, mega fleet, own your own independent company, or delivering pizza. If you are driving, if you are in the transportation industry, we are America's backbone. Independent contract courier, it doesn't matter. And the reason is because if we all shut down, America's dead. If every truck driver on the road shut down today, right now, New York City would run out of supplies in about 3 days. Los Angeles would be starving by Tuesday. This is Friday that I'm making this video. Chicago might have about 4 days. Atlanta might have about 3.5 days. There would be a nationwide panic like you have never seen. People are worried about other countries having this country by the balls. No. It's us in the transportation industry that have this company by the balls. And we know it too. We know it. It's not that we're not aware that we have this country by the balls. Believe me, we know it. You think Swift can import enough people from West Africa, the Middle East, Eastern Asia, or I'm sorry, Western Asia and Eastern Europe to come drive for them? You think they can import enough people? I mean, granted, they're trying. There's a lot of companies out there that are trying. By the way, speaking of that, anybody remember back in 2007, I-40, Arkansas? This is a mega fleet that I'm fixing to talk about here. I'm not talking about your independents. Independent truck drivers, we own the truck. We maintain the truck. We know that if that truck goes down, we're losing money. So we're going to take care of our equipment. The best looking trucks on the road is a proud owner-operator who just bought a Pete 379. That's why it's got chrome all over it. He's proud of it. He's going to take care of it. Mega fleets don't give a shit. And I can prove that right now. In 2007, Swift Transportation, what they were doing is they were importing these guys from West Africa, Eastern Europe, Western Asia, Middle East. They were bringing people over here to come drive the truck. Now, FMCSA states (49 CFR). CFR means Code of Federal Regulations, by the way. That you must be able to read, write, and speak English to qualify to get a commercial driver's license. That is a federal law. Federal law. Let me say that again. Federal. When you have a commercial driver's license, that is a federal license. That's what I hold. It means we are under federal regulations as well as state. Memphis, Tennessee. They got a terminal over there. Swift's got a terminal over there off Airways. They had all these guys that come in from other countries. And they would put them through their truck driving school. Get them a CDL using the address of an of a hotel in Memphis. And then cut them loose. Well, this guy, this driver, was out of hours, tired, fell asleep at the wheel, probably getting hounded by his dispatcher. And he turned his truck over on a family of four in a four-wheeler. The federal government came in and investigated. The state of Tennessee and the state of Arkansas came in and investigated. At that time, anybody who went through the Swift Training Academy in Memphis got their CDL yanked. They yanked every driver certification of driver trainer certification that they had up there, which they should have. Because they would just pencil whip it. And they got fined $37 million. The owner of Swift writes a fucking check. The driver died too, by the way. That's a mega fleet, though. That's what California wants. That's a public safety hazard. That is a public safety hazard. Here's something else. Anybody decided to look online lately? Type in, on Google, Swift trucking accident. See what pops up. How many pop up? How many fatalities on the highway? And yet, they're still in business. If my driver goes out and kills somebody in my truck, I'm done. You think I got millions and millions of dollars? Shit. You think I could write a check for $37 million? Nope. You think the people that I'm in business with can do that? Nope. That's what California wants. And let's face it, you get, some of these trucking companies out here, they don't even train their drivers anymore. Here's a scary version. Last year, August last year, I was in Denver, Colorado, at the TA right there in Wheat Ridge. I met this girl who had literally just started driving. Young girl, ambitious. I liked her. Still talk to her. I've taught her more than her company ever did, than her trainers ever did. We talk regularly. But she drives for a mega fleet out of Oregon. When she got her CDL, they gave her the keys to the truck and said bye. No training period. No time with a trainer. None. Does that not scare the shit out of you? Because it does me. You wonder why you want to go get a nice, you want to be an independent trucker and you go get you a nice, W-9 or 379. You get out there and you've done all this work to it. You've made it look like the prettiest thing on the road. And all of a sudden, somebody goes and they go swing in and they back right over your bumper. Right over your hood. Now, here's what happens to you as the independent. You're out of work. Your truck is down for repairs. You're not moving. You got to get that fixed. Yeah, they're going to cut you a check. They're going to fight you on it. Now we're talking about lawyers. Lawyers ain't in a hurry. The longer it takes them to settle, the more money they make. And what are you doing? You might be hurt. If you're asleep and they back into your truck, you snoozing, you got your nice air cab you're sleeping in, and when you went to bed, you were looking at the back seat sitting here, and you open it for your sleeping berth and windshield, you got your curtains pulled. Next thing you know, when you wake up, you're looking at tail lights of a Great Dane trailer staring you in the face because they done tore the front of your truck out. Yeah, that's pretty damn scary. You think somebody can't get hurt? This is what California wants. How about these 3-week truck driver schools that sits there and cuts people loose because they just want their freight moved? I'm not talking about the independent truck driving schools like I went to. The ones that will actually wash you out if you fuck up. I'm talking about the ones that are owned by the mega fleets. They want you to finish. They want you in their trucks. They want you running their trucks. Because they're not making shit with you going through training. So you cut them loose, get them out on the road with limited training. In their automatic trucks. Don't get me started. And they don't teach them how to engage the Jake brake on an automatic. I've drove an automatic a couple times in my life. I don't particularly care for them. Give me a fucking 13 speed any day. But the way you engage it, the trucks that I've drove anyway, you got to downshift manually to engage it. This girl, I had to tell her how to do that. All they're going to tell you, oh, no, you put it in D and you go. I don't like that. So now, they're coming down Grapevine or coming down Tehachapi or coming down Donners because nobody told them how to engage the Jake brake. And they're sitting there and they're trying to slow that truck down. And their goddamn brakes are on fire. Now they kill a couple of families of 4 driving a 4-wheeler. Somebody thought they were going to have a nice weekend at Lake Tahoe. Or take the family down to Disney World or Disneyland. Or go check out Death Valley. And then they're dead just that quick. Tagged on the fucking toe, dead. The driver, if the driver lives, is going to prison. And the trucking company is going to go, break that off. This truck, we can go ahead and claim it on insurance, which they're self-insured, by the way. Most of them. Hey, call Freightliner. Tell them we need another Cascadia down here. We just had one. Yep. How many we got in recruiting class this? Oh, we got 60? Okay. Okay, all right. Okay, so we got 60 new drivers, so we can replace a driver that just died. And Freightliner's sending us 10 trucks tomorrow. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Their bottom line's not even affected. In their budget, they've got lawsuit money set aside. Scared yet? I could make a horror movie out of this. And people wouldn't believe it's true. But the fact that every word that I have said in this video is the 100% truth. Even scarier, every elected official works for you, works for me. Every elected official claims to be responsible for public safety. That's why we have a highway patrol. That's why we have the Department of Transportation. That's why we have weigh stations, chicken coops. It's all for public safety, right? If I lived in California, I don't know if I could live with myself. Thank God I don't live in California. Oh, another fun fact. California likes to start trends. You ever notice that? What California thinks is a good idea usually gets federally adopted. Another thing California did was DEF. If you don't know anything about a diesel engine or the trucking industry, diesel engines made after 2008, even on pickup trucks, are required to have diesel exhaust fluid system, a DPF filter, which is a diesel particulate filter. If you've ever seen Smokey and the Bandit, 1977, Burt Reynolds, Jerry Reed, when they rev up that truck at the first part of that movie, you see that black smoke rolling out. They don't do that anymore, do they? These trucks. The reason they don't is because they have what's called a diesel particulate filter. They have a corrosive liquid called DEF that you have to put in your truck. And basically what it is this synthetic urine. It's synthetic piss. It's ammonia and some other corrosive chemicals. And what this does is it will capture all of the soot coming out of the exhaust of that diesel engine, capture it, superheat it, and then send it out. The problem is with DEF is now you have lowered the life of a diesel engine. I've seen trucks, diesel trucks, with 20 and 30,000 miles on them. And I know in a car that sounds like a lot. $20,000 and 30,000 miles on them. 20, 30,000 miles in a truck. You can do that in a couple. You can do that in really a couple months. In a team truck, you could do that in just a couple of weeks. Team trucks, you can run 6,000 miles a week, no problem. Now you got to put it in the shop. Thousands of dollars spent to fix your DEF system. I've had that problem. Oh, some of y'all just went, well, can't you just delete it? You can. But you're risking $30,000 fine from the EPA. Yeah, you can delete them. But your truck's not legal to drive now. Factor that in with the supply chain shortage. Oh, and there's a death shortage now too. Are you trying to bring this country to its knees? This is not a California law. This is federal. This is EPA. So, we have government so far up our ass in the trucking industry, it's pathetic. The days of the independent truck driver are dead. The days of the outlaw truck driver are really dead. Now, I'm not going to say that that's completely a bad thing. I'm not going to say it's a good thing either, but I'm not going to say that the days of the outlaw truckers being dead is a bad thing. Because, hey, come on now, let's be reasonable. Outlaw truck drivers, they did a few things. I caught the tail end of it. I still remember when drivers stuck together. Seems like a long time ago. I'm asking all of us to stand together again. We have the ability to say, we're shutting them down. We're shutting down our trucks. We're not going to drive until you get out of our trucks, get out of our lives. Now, here's something else to think about. Name me one industry to where a minor misdemeanor traffic offense will cost you your livelihood. Name me one. Just one. Lawyers, doctors, police officers. A traffic ticket's not going to affect their livelihood. They may pay a little bit more on their car insurance or whatever, but it's not going to affect their livelihood. If you spend as much time on the road as the average driver does, the average truck driver, your likelihood of getting an infraction increases exponentially. It's going to happen. You get pulled into a scale and they find something wrong with your truck, your CSA score goes up. CSA, for those that don't know, is Carrier Safety Administration. Every driver, every company has a score. You can look it up on SaferWeb. Everybody has a score. If I get pulled over and one thing is wrong with my truck, my safety score goes up, even if it's trivial. A marker light going out, a chicken light going out. My score just went up. The company score also goes up if the driver screws up. And that reflects on the insurance. Insurance goes up. You know how a marker light can go out? Might vibrate loose. I've had marker lights to where I didn't realize that, they were working fine when I did my pre-trip. But I'm driving through Jersey on bad roads, or driving through Louisiana on bad roads, or driving through Michigan on bad roads, and it just loses the ground. And I can go out there and I can just tap it. It'll come back on. But when I pull into that scale house, if it's not operational, now they have the ability to say, well, get it fixed. Or they can do a level 1 and cite me on it. Depends on the mood of the officer. Depends on if a truck driver ran off with his old lady the other day. True story. How about this? And granted, this goes with trip planning, but they don't teach this in a lot of truck driving schools today, which is stupid. They worry about more on the road and backing than they do trip planning, which trip planning is probably one of the most important things that we can do, in addition to getting your paperwork right. You get somebody out there who doesn't know what they're doing. They don't understand how to trip plan. They don't teach them how to read a map anymore. Sad, but they don't. Oh, just follow GPS. Okay. They're coming, let's say they're coming through D.C. on the 495 Capitol Circle. We've all been there, right? You're stuck in traffic. There is very few truck stops around D.C., especially heading south. Very few places to park. Well, you get a new driver that's not used to it and doesn't know because you didn't put him out there with a trainer. He's going around D.C. on 495, crosses into Virginia, and he's got 3 hours left thinking, okay, I'm good. Gets through that, gets to Richmond. There ain't many places to go around Richmond either. Now he's out of hours, just a little south of Richmond with no place to park. So he gets there and he finds a place to park and he's got 3 minutes over on his 14-hour day. Guess what? Was there really anything he could have done? Yeah, he could have planned for it if he'd been trained properly. But here's the bad thing. That 3 minutes that he probably didn't really want to drive, that's a logbook violation. He's got to carry that log for 8 days. Now, 4 days later, he gets pulled into the scale house at Knoxville. They pull him over, do a level 1 on him, and nail him for that log violation. You ever been penalized for going to work? Yeah, I mean, there's provisions in there. You can claim a big day on some logbooks. You can claim safe haven. But I mean, it's trivial shit. That's how much the government is in these trucks already. California wants it more. I think I've rambled on enough. I've been going on almost an hour. This is the truth about trucking. And it's only going to get worse, folks. It's only going to get worse. I feel bad for the drivers coming in behind me. I feel bad for the drivers that are still out there. As a fleet owner, truck owner, I'll back my drivers as much as I can. But I'm just one man. Y'all be safe.